Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo es Brian. Y Blake Walley. This is the new American media, the nuevo americano. ¿Cómo se dice media? I don't know how to say media. Media.
Americano Nuevo.
And that's what? Con huevos? That's with eggs. Con huevos?
Yeah, it's with eggs. Yeah.
Con huevos rancheros. Welcome, everybody, to the program. We started the New American Media because we are tired of the propaganda, the Smith-Mundt Act, the Obama-approved, state-sponsored propaganda. We don't like it. We're tired of being lied to by Fox and MSNBC and CBS and everybody you can think of. So we started our own thing over here, and we're broadcasting live. So thank you for joining the program. Want you to follow us in all of the places. First off, let's get TheNewAmericanMedia.com. It's a homepage. We haven't done a lot with it in the past couple of years, but we're about to. Some changes are coming. On X, we're at American_media_. On Telegram, Telegram's going to be big because we fully expect to get censored off of Facebook and off of YouTube. So join us on Telegram at TNAM for the New American Media and TNAM Chat. TNAM and TNAM Chat. Also, Rumble, the New American Media. On Spotify or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. We're getting some consistent numbers. They're growing slowly but surely. Jocelyn, oh my gosh. What do we owe the pleasure of having Jocelyn today? Thank you. I know her schedule. She's been busy during our exact moments when we go live at 3 o'clock Eastern time, roughly 3 to 5 or so. But thank you for joining us today. Absolutely. We love your comments. Your comments make our show 1,000 times better. So please participate. Jocelyn says it's snowing in Sedona, and it's rather warm for snow. Wait, negative 32? No, wait, 32? Weird weather, but we've been under a siege of chemtrails for the past couple of weeks. My God, I am getting really tired of walking outside with all of the lines crisscrossing the sky like a tic-tac-toe board. It is not natural. It is not normal. Hello, Timothy Hanlon. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Also, subscribe to our podcast. It's growing. It's slowly growing, slow growing, but it's called The Agree to Disagree Show. On Truth Social, link up with us, The New American Media. Where else are we? Instagram, The New American Media. Where else are we at? Oh, YouTube, youtube.com/The New American Media. Of course, that's like the big one. We have like 1,400 videos and 12 years of content, from sports to spirituality, comedy to Congress, and freedom to firearms. Seeking truth, challenging dogma, and having fun. So join us on the YouTube channel, please. Also, Blake Walley. Blake Walley is on X. That's where he is most prolific. He is at TV's Blake Walley. Kenneth is asking, this is the Agree to Dis Not Be show? Thank you, Kenneth. That's a wonderful one. Also, Blake is at thenextlevelnews.com. Blake, what was the old level? And what's the next level?
I'm the next level. I'm the cutting edge of the spear here. Right. Of the alternative media. I was innovating, trying to be ahead of the game.
Well, we are ahead of the game.
Perspective blog, and now it is the next level news.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for participating.
I guess the one place the game, Brian. Nobody can keep up with me. All the original thoughts, right? The trailblazer. That's next level. All right.
True or false? A lot of people are giving you propaganda. A lot of people are giving you fake stories. We dig in and we report on the underreported stories. And that's where we think it's most important to be paying attention these days. So make sure you're linked up with us. Also, go to Facebook and do a search. Put it in quotation marks. TNAM for the New American Media. So quotation marks, TNAM '*S, TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show, quotation marks. If you type it in exactly, you might see a recommendation to join our private group. If so, tell them that Brian sent ya. But that's a place where we are perhaps most active these days. But, like I said, I fully expect to get erased and shadow banned from those clowns and from YouTube, which is why we're also on Odyssey. If you go to ODYSEE.com.
You should save these promos for the end of the show.
No, I'm letting
Brian
everybody
likes
know
to
where
do
to follow.
5 minutes of promoting every single channel on every single platform before we get underway here.
Absolutely. Look, every broadcast could be my last, so I have to give it to you up front. Make sure it's important that they're following us wherever you clicked to see us live right now. It might be gone tomorrow, so please link up with us in all the other places because we will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Timothy is asking if we can talk about NYC tunnels. Blake, I know that was a topic you barely wanted to touch last time.
I didn't know.
Although
There's
our
nothing
2 minute
about it
take
to
segment is very
report.
popular.
Well, it's not like I'm covering up for it, or it's like I'm trying to, distract the public. I just didn't know what was happening. Yeah, there were tunnels under there. I didn't know if they're just trying to find a cheap place to rent in New York City, which is outrageously expensive. It's like, hey, you want to spend, $3,000 a month for this 400 square foot little micro apartment on the 5th floor walk up with neighbors on every single wall? Or do you want to live in the tunnel for, $1,000 a month, but, plenty of space, but it's going to be with a bunch of other people? I don't know. Or maybe there's rituals because I saw some weird stuff that they had some interesting stuff down there. So I have no idea. And I heard something
What did we see? Allegedly, we saw child's clothing and men's clothing.
Yeah.
We saw pee pads. We saw a Graco. I don't know the name of the brand. I think it's Graco, a stroller down there. So a child's stroller. They passed out and moved a child-sized tiny mattress, grossly soiled. What else was down there? All sorts of things that would make you say, for what purpose were these kids' items down there? You said Jocelyn saying a rabbi has turned himself in. Turned himself into what? Bloodstained mattress, high chairs, kids' clothing. Yeah.
Into the police, look, right, or the FBI.
Connect the dots here. What in the world is going on? I don't know what the heck it is, but I know it's strange. I know it's something that's worth looking into.
I'm surprised
people were saying like they could.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm surprised they could even make a tunnel in New York. You'd think with all the population density and the subway systems and sewage systems, that would just seem like a dangerous place to dig. But it happened.
That's usually why you don't just dig underneath buildings, because they could collapse.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever seen a sinkhole before, but people were saying that they could hear people underneath them. They could hear people underneath their floor.
One of us froze, and it's.
I think one of the quotes was, "I could hear," which group of people it is, but I mean, Jews talk the way they talk, and you know the difference. But I mean, imagine, Blake. Imagine if you heard a group of Germans underneath your floor, or a group of Brazilians underneath your floorboards. Like, how creeped out would that make you? And of course, now your bed is in the middle of a sinkhole on top of it.
Yeah, no, it's not a good look. I wouldn't want to live in New York City anyway. It's a great place. I'd love to visit, but I certainly wouldn't want to live in that kind of environment. That would just even make it weirder because there's always something crazy happening there, which makes it exciting. But, if I was in my 20s, I would do it. But nah, it's not for me.
Yeah, and I will say, I love the great American cities, and I'm just disgusted by what the Democrats have done to all of these cities. It's simple. If you take the mentally ill people off the street, if you take the people that are just absolutely addicted and stoned out of their minds, walking around like zombies, if you Jocelyn saying those tunnels are connected to
that was one of the rumors.
Museum.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but that would certainly be horrific. Also.
But I love the great American cities, Blake. I've been to New York. Yes, Jocelyn saying that Getty Museum in Los Angeles. Yes, that is a very famous
former colleague of mine used
to
think that was happening. They're running children to the Getty Museum underneath the ground, underneath the tunnels under my house. It's like, okay, right. There's Chinese drones outside my window. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about Chinese drones outside your window, but I think the Getty's pretty well documented that that's factual, that there's a vast underground network of tunnels. Also, there's a vast underground network of tunnels allegedly from D.C. to Denver, over where the Denver airport is, and probably all over the rest of the damn country. if you've been to Vegas lately, Blake, I guess you've been gone, but they've had the Elon Musk boring system where they have a series of Tesla tunnels, right? Tesla tunnels connecting kind of like a
they want to
taxi
make like a
service to the
high-speed rail
hotels
system from LA to Vegas, which would be great, but that's just never seemed to have happened yet. But I don't know exactly what. Elon does have the boring company to make that possible, but I don't know if it's actually been done or not.
Well, it is done. I've been watching. I went to a football game with Paul Brown, like a Cleveland Browns super fan from the UK. His name's Paul Brown. And Paul Brown, of course, is the man who created the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Jocelyn right there was just saying that tunnels and child trafficking go hand in hand. Yes, they do. What was that last one? I can't keep up here. So I got that one. What was the next one? She says there are literally statues of creatures dragging a child into the sewer located in Brooklyn, New York. What? Jocelyn, share that in our private X group. How can we ask other people like Timothy I don't know, how do we invite people to the private X group for the unhappy hour? I'm sorry, for the new for the Agree to Disagree show. I do too many things.
I don't know. Yeah, you get way too many little social media little groups, Brian.
Well, connect to us on X at American_media_. And if you want in our group, we do have a private group for the Agree to Disagree show running. Jocelyn, can you share some of those pictures that you're talking about? Because one of the pictures, the videos rather, that came up was a Hasidic Jew with the beard and the hat and the cloak and the thing and the stuff. I mean, straight out of Central Casting, climbing out of a sewer grate. So we went ahead on the Instagram channel for the New American Media, and we did a TNAM humor, the New American Media humor post, where it says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kind of with the Hasidic garb there, climbing out of the sewers. It's really a strange story that, I've seen conservative media now. I mean, I don't know what you'd call Tim Pool. I don't know what you'd call some of these other guys, but they're just saying, well, these are just tunnels because New York City put in draconian anti-religious measures during COVID, and they wanted a way to get to their synagogue without being persecuted, walking outside, going down the sidewalk, and opening the front door.
Like Minnesota, where we have the skyways down like downtown Minneapolis, so you don't have to go outside; they just connect to the different buildings. But yeah, especially when it's freaking cold out, they have tunnel systems in Minnesota too, so you don't have to go outside; you just go underground from building to building. It's very convenient and keeps you warm and out of the elements. There you go.
And that's what I was saying about Elon Musk. I've been watching Paul Brown. I got sidetracked there, but I went to a football game with him, the Browns-Bengals game on Sunday, and, super fan. He's always blogging. He's out at the CES show in Las Vegas right now, and he is showing all of the Elon Musk Tesla tunnels. They connect, not everywhere, but you hop in them. I mean, you have like 6 inches on each side. You're in a tunnel, and you're underground, avoiding traffic lights and pedestrians and in traffic. You just go directly from building to building, and you're underground in a tunnel the whole way. So I guess that wasn't around when you were there, but it's pretty interesting if you want to look it up. So yeah, tunnels, very interesting. And of course, Elon Musk at the center of it, because why wouldn't he be? Anyway, okay, so let's get into today's topics, Blake. There's a lot to talk about, and I think we should just probably jump into it with a stinger and the beginning of our program. And yes, right there, that gives you the website, TheNewAmericanMedia.com. That is, if we disappear everywhere, I still run that main website, okay? TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
First topic of the day.
Sharma, I don't remember our
headline story. Brian, if you had to choose between Indian, Chinese, Italian, or Mexican cuisine, which would you choose? Agree or disagree?
Oh my
Just
God.
kidding. But as a side note,
okay,
why not? I wish we could talk about stuff like this every day and not hardcore political topics.
We could. And we could. There's 100 ways that we could do the show, and we could front load it or back load it, or There's different ways. Okay, so R. Sharma, welcome. I don't recall you leaving comments before. Thank you so much. Sharma reminds me of shawarma, which is Indian. So I would go Indian. Blake,
Really?
what say you?
Okay, no, Indians it's a great choice. I haven't had enough of it. It's exotic, and I've haven't had enough to really say whether I like it or not. So I guess out of that group, it's really tough. I think I'd have to Chinese or Italian. Mexican, I love Mexican, but it's there's too many. It's too similar.
So you said exotic. Isn't that just a dog whistle for racism?
Right. No, I could eat a pile of naan bread right here. Some good stuff. I've had many dishes that are interesting, but there's definitely some funkier spices I'm not necessarily accustomed to. So I'd have to go to like a really nice Indian buffet so I could sample all the different things and see what I like. I've actually been to like an Indian restaurant. I've actually even ordered like goat because I'm like, oh, I got to try something exotic while I'm here. But it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in you got to try exotic stuff. Like when I was in Jamaica, we paid a man named Mr. Suave. Everything I man. So I said, where do the locals eat? Hi, Frankie. Frankie says Italian. I said, take us where the locals eat. And so he took us to this place and I said, let me get a beer. He goes, we don't have beer, but we'll get you anything, man. They're right next door. What do you want? And they sent the kid, they ran out on his bike and ran over and bought some beers and brought him back.
Yeah.
And I had turtle soup. I had conch soup.
Like conch?
So conch shells, conch. I like all sorts of different things. But what were the choices of food there? Because I've been in a mostly gluten-free relationship for a long time. Ooh. So Mexican is almost always okay. Because as long you just got to make sure no flour tortillas, it has to be corn tortillas and corn chips. Otherwise, everything else there is mostly gluten-free. It's easy. Italian's dicey. You can find some gluten-free Italian stuff, but there's a couple places that we have been to. Chinese, there are gluten-free options at PF Chang's, so I have had that recently, but not like the whole smorgasbord of, my God, just sitting down in front of a Chinese buffet. There's almost nothing better. You can make like 7 trips up there, little plates. I'm not saying like heaping piles of food, but like I want to.
They gotta wheel you out there, Brian. They gotta kick you out. They say, "Come on now, seriously, need some food for everybody else."
And then no, but like little plates. I want to go up and get little. Yeah, give me a little noodles. I want some of this. I want some of that. I want the General Tso's chicken, of course. But like Indian, something she has not been remotely interested in. And I just haven't gone on my own. But there's 2 places around here. I just haven't gone because she never wants to. So I went Indian because it's been longer since I've had Indian food. I do like the spices. I think I love some of that stuff. Some of the panak, I can't even pronounce any of that shit. But Trader Joe's has decent versions of some of those things. And I liked them when I bought them and put them in the freezer. But anyway. Yeah. Thanks for that, because that's clearly
off topic, but the story of there we go. All right, guys, been great. Catch us next week.
Yeah. Take care. Follow us. See you next time. Bye.
Later. Thanks, everybody. All right, yeah. Next Level News, Brian. New American Media. All right. Oh, but yeah, MJ Sedona in Sedona. That's right. The Mexican food was out of this world in Vegas, LA, Arizona, compared to suburban Minnesota and Tennessee. Well, where I'm at in Tennessee. Not exactly spectacular. Very different. Yes. Big difference.
That's a good pickup line, right? Like you do something, but you're the only 10 I see. Only 10
okay, I'll work that in sometime. All right.
Yeah, you got to work that in. It's so stupid. It's bound to get a laugh. Yeah. But Tennessee, you have barbecue food.
Oh, Memphis barbecue is really good. Yeah, Memphis, Carolina.
Not just Memphis. I think the whole state does.
Yeah, but do you like hot chicken sandwich? I don't know if I was that big of a fan of the Nashville hot chicken. I had to try it, and it's good. But would I want to reorder it? I don't really like things like overly spicy. But anyway.
But it doesn't have to be overly spicy. It could just be a mild sauce. Even a hot sauce doesn't have to be that hot. But the key on those is like I think Buffalo Wild Wings has been doing really good stuff. I've had to watch a few games there this year just for it's hard to get some of the games you want to watch on TV, so I roll over there. And their smash burgers have been really good, and their Nashville hot chicken sandwich has been good too. But the key is you get extra pickles and extra coleslaw. You ask for extra, and then it changes the dynamic of it. Maybe even a little extra sauce on the chicken sandwich. God, I'm getting hungry. Good thing I put some food in. It'll be done by the time the show's over.
The chicken mole. I used to make a dish called Holy Mole. That was really good.
Oh, you made that for me once. By the way, fun fact: Blake and I used to cohabitate together in Los Angeles. Yeah, you made the Holy Moly for
on yellow rice. Yeah,
once,
that's great. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Jocelyn says she's making chili verde right now. It's what's for dinner. Bum bum bum. Had chicken mole. Oh, mole is so good. What is that? That's like chocolate.
It's got a little bit of chocolate. Yeah, it's got a ton. It's so many different things, and there's so many different like house recipes and regional recipes for mole. It's not really consistent, but it's got a little bit of chocolate in it for sure.
Oh man, I gotta get me some mole. Holy moly. Okay, well, anyway, holy moly, Hunter Biden is in the middle of some crap, folks. Blake, agree or disagree that Hunter Biden should be held in contempt of Congress?
Yeah, absolutely. They should just arrest him now. Not that I have some kind of, vendetta. It's not vindictive. I just would prefer, not that I even want to see him like incarcerated for the rest of his life or, I don't want to destroy him. But the presidency is bad. They're obviously a corrupt family. They got business dealings, and he's been tax evasion. He should not be. Him and his father and the whole Biden family. None of them should be anywhere near positions of power, making decisions. They're compromised clearly, and they need to go away. And so, they pulled off quite a political stunt because they were meeting in Congress to hold Hunter in contempt when he made a surprise appearance. But then he ran out just as quickly as he got there. Let's see if we can find a couple of stories on this.
By the way, while you pull those up, Blake, let me just say the title of today's show is Hunter Biden's Corruption, Blackmail, and Treason Threaten Us All. So, on some degree, it's just like, just get out of here. You're a jerk or you're a thief or something. Like, it's corruption at the highest level. It's blackmail because you look at the Hunter Biden laptop that 51 compromised, treasonous intelligence officials lied to us about because they wanted to put this family in power. These are bribed and blackmailed, corrupt people who are selling this country out because it's treason. When you are this deep in bed with other countries, with other people who are blackmailing you and you're on the take, that is treason. You cannot serve as CEO of your own damn country because you've sold your soul for 40 pieces of silver. I don't see this as remotely a minor situation. And we're not talking about the minors that Joe Biden keeps sniffing in a grotesque #MeToo.
Or the minors on Hunter's laptop.
This is not minors. This is, the minors on Hunter's laptop that the deep state was lying to us about, that Chris Wallace lied to us about, that Fox News lied to us about. Everybody said the Hunter Biden laptop isn't true. If that was out, they said it would have swung at least 15 to 20%, would have absolutely denounced Biden and swung for Trump even more than they already did. But by the way, visit CISA.gov/rumor control because they don't think that anything was corrupt about the 2020 election. We beg to differ. So, all right, what do you have here with MTG? You said Hunter made a surprise appearance. He also made a surprise exit.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
It was. It's kind of hilarious in a way. But that's the way this administration has been. So just 2 hours after first son, Hunter Biden stormed out of a House contempt of Congress hearing after critic Marjorie Taylor Greene was recognized to speak. The lawmakers' team was highlighting the clash and a new fundraising note. Of course, they're always trying to capitalize on these events. So it's not uncommon for them to use these events to raise money, but Greens might test the record for the fastest turnaround time. Biden surprised the House Oversight Committee when his lawyer, and that associate, kind of a sleazy looking dude.
Okay. Pause for a second, Blake. Give me 1 second. Is the associate the guy? What was he wearing? Purple that was sitting to the.
Yeah,
if you're looking at him to the left.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah, to his right, to the left, as the viewing audience. Who in the world is it? You know who that guy reminds me of? It reminds me of Tommy DeVito's agent. Remember when he took over for the New York Giants at quarterback because of the injury to Daniel Jones?
No, but
oh, you don't know the agent?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh,
no, not for Tony DeVito. No.
Oh my gosh!
But no, I was just surprised.
Talk about Italian food. All right, yeah, it was a huge story like 3-4 weeks ago. But yeah, this guy is out of central casting. He looks like a mob. He's mobbed up to the teeth. What a goofball looking character out of like Better Call Saul or
yeah,
something
like that. Yeah, that was wild. Out of the people you want to show up with, I mean, whatever, the lawyer, but yeah, who is the mystery associate? So they arrived. They began to take front row seats. The committee was discussing plans to hold Hunter in contempt for refusing to comply with a subpoena to testify on his family fortunes and business dealings. So here's let's take a look at this from Marjorie Taylor Greene once she was allowed to speak.
Ms. Greene from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter.
Right there. And so here's the guy we're talking about.
Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Roll this again.
Ms. Greene from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Ms. Greene from Georgia. Boom.
By the way,
thank you, Mr.
Like
Chairman.
He's in all purple like the Joker.
Yeah, a little bit, man. That is wild.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh!
I like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward.
So I have mixed thoughts on not Nancy Grace, Macy Gray. What's Macy Gray? What's that lady with the fake eyelashes? And she was talking about banging her boyfriend at church a couple months ago.
Yeah, Nancy Mace.
She's kind of cringy.
I know I've got video of her somewhere in here too.
And right there, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, Hunter doesn't like women, and Nancy Grace is like, I know, Nancy Mace. I just keep thinking Nancy Grace. You are white privilege. Yeah. Like, how do you feel about that, Blake? Because on one hand, I like that they're using their own stupid buzzwords and stupid phrases against them. I love that they're doing that. But I also hate it because it's so stupid. I don't want to validate that, but I know they're doing it in a mocking tone to just mock that. But when they're playing the woman card and the white privilege card and all this crap that the Democrats do you like that because it's exposing the hypocrisy, just the stupidity of the argument and the slander and the slur? Or do you dislike it because now we're kind of granting them that sort of moral high ground to even validate it by repeating it? What are your thoughts on it? Did you have the same thought I did watching
No,
that?
I agree. It's cringy, and that's the same thing with this with us, the author here, Chris Menahan of Information Liberation, which is definitely more of I don't want to say conservative, libertarian, Trump websites. So yeah, it's weird to see them use those buzzwords from the other side. And so he kind of rips on her for that. So here it is. Here's Nancy Mace. You are the epitome of white privilege. And yeah, Congressman Nancy Mace went full libtard by attacking Hunter Biden for his white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena. What are you afraid of? You have no balls. We can watch
first of all, my first question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
if the gentlelady wants to...
she He looks confused as he's
Hear
sitting
from
there
Hunter.
with
Okay,
Gary
this-
Busey.
Gary Busey.
Biden, we can hear from him.
Oh, that's reminds me of Ric Flair.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
a combination of Ric Flair and Gary Busey.
Nice. Then she's
Oh, let that clip play though. Like
Right
it
now, Mr.
continues.
Chairman, let's take a vote and hear from
I'm
Hunter Biden.
speaking.
What are you
women
afraid
allowed
of?
to speak
What are you
in here?
afraid of?
Hold on.
Why-
Order,
why are you
order,
guys not
order.
willing to let
Ms.
us
Are
make
women
a public
allowed to
hearing?
speak in
All
here
right.
or no?
Okay.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no?
Order.
Because you keep interrupting me.
I'll interrupt the
You keep
chairman. I don't know
interrupting.
that he's a lady.
okay.
You know, and I get that she's getting interrupted, which is bullshit. You know, yeah, she said you have no balls, and maybe that's a breach of decorum. But I mean, come on. Have you seen Hunter's laptop? We all have at this point. He's a complete degenerate who's been raised by a complete degenerate who sniffs children and showers with his daughter, allegedly, according to that diary that they've covered up. So saying someone doesn't have balls, give me a break. You're talking to a crime boss over here, a complete Manchurian candidate's son who sold this country out. I mean, you kind of forfeit a little bit of decorum there, but you know, I get what she's saying. Like, hey, shut up, dude. What, you're gonna talk over a lady? What? Ladies can't talk here? But once again, it's that Democrat card. They're always whining about something's racist or something's misogynist or something's Islamophobic or transphobic. Everything is just like whatever I can do to paint you and like pigeonhole you into like a hate group. It's the dumbest shit. I'm mixed on it. I'm really mixed. I have a visceral dislike to it, but I also understand that the only way you can defeat some of these awful ideas, awful people, awful accusations is to just use them so much that they lose all meaning. I've been saying for decades, for fucking decades, Blake, if you call everything racist, nothing is. And you should probably not do that, probably for that reason. If everything is sexist, then nothing is. If everything is... And they've really killed the goose that laid the golden eggs. I know they figured out early. Barack Hussein Obama definitely figured that out when he became a community agitator in Chicago, community organizer. You know, from that from Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson's shakedown efforts of the 80s and 90s. If you accuse somebody of being bad, you're going to be able to shake money out of them. They're going to get on the defensive and no, I'm not that. And then now you're playing their word game. So I totally get it. Jocelyn is saying Hunter laptop shows drugs, prostitutes, laundering money. He walks out of Congress like he's a king. All the while, rank and file Americans are spending years in prison for protesting at the Capitol. Exactly. So, I mean, Blake, it is privilege. I mean, it's mob privilege. The Biden crime family is a mob. Jocelyn says Trump's sons testified in front of Congress. Showed up and they were respectful, opposite of Hunter's appearance in Congress, next to Ric Flair. What'd you call
Gary
him?
Busey.
Gary Busey. That's good. But Blake, I mean, what are your thoughts on that with Nancy Mace? You know, playing the woman card, and
No,
but really,
yeah.
like she was in the middle of talking, and some dude just interrupts her. But I look, just one final point. I know I just asked you, but like I've been in board meetings for a long. I've served on the boards of various. I've been on the board of directors with various organizations for a long time. And it gets dicey in your meetings. If they had cameras on all of our meetings, I don't even know what stunts I pulled, what names I called, and what tantrums I've thrown, because that is the nature of it. But I mean, where do you come down on it? Do you think she was right to call him out for interrupting her? Do you dislike her? You're okay with her playing the woman card? I don't know. What say you?
No, I liked half of it. I like, her calling him out for having no balls is funny, but yeah, I don't like the Democratic buzz words and phrases, and she gets blasted from it by a Democrat on the other side, Representative Jasmine Crockett, right here.
And that I just can't get over. I can't get
over. Before you press play on her, this one is probably the most annoying one on the entire Democrat side. Is there anybody you find more annoying than this one?
Well, I'm not a big fan of Raskin, obviously. I mean, I'm not really a fan of many of them, and they can't even be, reasonably honest with this. It's a completely, it's a partisan show. So I long for the days when people could, be across the aisle and team up on different things that were right and wrong, and not just side completely politically partisan. In this way, we clearly know that Hunter Biden's bad news, and that he should be held in contempt. Of course, the Democrats not one of them is going to go across the aisle because they know they're going to be politically destroyed from within. So.
And it's so, do you find it to be disheartening, confusing, and infuriating that the Democrats will always circle the wagons and protect their most idiotic member, regardless? But the Republicans turn on each other, like Ronna McDaniel allowing this clown show of Nikki Haley and little Ronnie DeSantis, little Ronnie D, when it's obvious that the guy on your shirt is the one that the country wants. The guy on your shirt wanted for president is the one that people overwhelmingly, according to some in their heart of hearts, voted for in the last election. By the way, visit CISA.gov because they will disagree and they want you to hear their countervailing views on the 2020 election. But I mean, the Democrats always protect their idiots. The Republicans turn on everybody instantly. There is no semblance of teamwork. It's like every person for themselves. There is no overarching theme on the team. There is no team. It's all about I in the Republican Party. What do you say about that point? Because that irks me to no end. This should have been an easy 2024 primary season, backing Trump against illegal persecutions in Georgia, illegal persecutions in New York, illegal persecution, trying to take off the ballot in Colorado. This is an all-out assault on Trump. Clearly the party's front runner. Clearly the people have already spoken. He's not, nobody else is even remotely within 60 points of this guy, 70 points of this, 80 points of this guy. It's obvious. But the Republicans refuse to back the leader of their party. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's usually how it goes these days. So yeah, the Democrats, it's all one big tribe. But yeah, there's variations within the Republican Party, and some of it, there's the old guards, there's the neocons, and then there's the MAGA base, and then there's more the libertarian side, the Tea Party side. So yeah, it's good to have a variety, and people just again, voting on things, whether they're right or wrong or constitutional or not, versus the Democrats, which are just going to be in lockstep. So it makes them effective, but it also makes them dangerous at times. So,
all the time. Yeah. I think the Democrats should be considered a terrorist organization in the country. Kenneth B is saying all steam, no team. All right, that's pretty good right there. All steam, no team. That is Republicans in a nutshell. Jocelyn says the problem is that we let him get away with it. Did we really expect him to sit through an entire hearing without a Coke break?
Exactly.
That'd be a pretty hopefully we'll get to that video of him being interviewed by that guy asking about his Coke break. Yep. Maybe that's after this. But let's listen to the most annoying person in how did this person get in Congress? She's like the sassy apple from Applebee's commercials. It was Wanda Sykes, like. This girl is so terrible.
I wasn't familiar with her until yesterday.
She's been around for months, man. The worst sound bites are coming from her. Jocelyn says Hunter walked out just to show them all he's untouchable, and they all know nothing will be done. Yeah. It's a mob tactic. I love how he was accosted in the hallway by that guy that. Hopefully that's what everybody should be doing. Maybe you'll play that clip next. But all right, listen to this lady. She's already got her hands up. I have some things to say about this. Oh, she's the dumbest person. Go ahead, just play. What is her name?
Over the
Jasmine Crockett.
From Texas of all places.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, is she from Austin or Dallas? I don't know.
Something that I just can't get over. I can't get over the gentle lady from South Carolina talking about white privilege. It was a spit in the face, at least of mine as a black woman, for you to talk about what
There
white
you go.
privilege looks like,
As a
especially
black
from that
woman.
side of the aisle. And let me quote your now ousted speaker and what he had to say about the Republican Party and y'all's lack of diversity. When you look at the Democrats, they actually look like America. When I look at my party, we look like the most restrictive country club in America. So let me tell you something. Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but
I can't. You mean like the country club that Donald Trump opened up to people of other denominations? You mean that one, the leader of the party? Who's the former speaker that she's talking about? She's talking about McCarthy.
Probably.
She didn't reference who she's talking. Was that something McCarthy said? Because McCarthy's not a Republican. He's a deep state Democrat. I don't know how he got in. Well, remember, I mean, Glenn Beck was promoting him along with Paul Ryan. What did they call that group? There was like three of them. Not the Gang of Four. What were they called?
It's been a while. I can't remember.
McCarthy and Ryan is like the new batch, like the
Rhino.
young guns.
Yeah.
The young guns. McCarthy is the word, if that's who she's referencing, because she doesn't reference who she's talking about. She said the former speaker. Well, if it's the most former speaker, it's McCarthy. Anyway, go ahead. Keep playing this lady. Yeah.
No, we don't need to. I mean, we can.
No,
but
let's
I'm
finish it off.
Okay.
show you a little bit of something.
Yeah, show me a little bit of something.
You want to talk about a two-tier justice system, and this is the only time
Yeah,
that
we
y'all
do.
have ever referenced it, when this country has a history when it comes to black and brown folk of having two separate sets of rules.
What are you
And right
talking about?
now what you want to do
Countries
is
what?
have two separate sets of rules because Mr.
what?
Moskowitz offered y'all a fair situation. He said he would vote for Hunter to be held in contempt if y'all voted to hold all, even if you remove all of the members of Congress. There's still other people that y'all haven't decided that y'all have excuses for, but y'all don't want to hold them.
Y'all.
She made no sense there. That was all pablum. It was blah blah for the last 20 seconds. She
Blah
she didn't
blah
say a damn
y'all,
thing.
blah blah y'all, blah blah
Blah
y'all,
blah
y'all,
y'all, blah blah y'all.
Okay, that's all good. Anyway, it was
Could you finish?
very unusual moment. Everyone was thrown off their game by the sudden cameo of Hunter Biden.
He walked in just to walk out. Does she have anything else to finish this little clip up? Just
All right. Well, let's see.
You
We
hear
got
how awful she is.
Well, we got 12 more seconds. Let's hear some
blah
more.
blah y'all.
Y'all.
In contempt, but for some reason it makes sense to hold Hunter Biden in contempt, who has tried to comply. And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line.
All right. Well, there's
There you go. Blah blah y'all. That's her new name. Blah blah y'all. Like Boba Fett. Blah blah y'all.
How do I get out of this?
How do we get out of this nightmare that we're in? I don't know. We're in a. Can we go back to another timeline before they launched CERN and pushed us into some weird parallel dimension? Because I'm convinced the Cleveland Indians were supposed to beat the Chicago Cubs when we were up 3-1, and maybe the Cavs were supposed to lose when they were down 3-1.
Yeah, the Cubs were even more overdue than the Indians. Why can't the
No,
Cubs? Why do
don't
you have
say
to beat the Cubs? Why couldn't it be somebody else? Why the Cubs?
You're a Minnesota Twins fan. Who cares?
No,
Chicago's had
I
Michael
was.
Jordan and the Blackhawks and the Bears. Chicago's won a million things. Cleveland hasn't won anything forever. But in the parallel
I
dimension,
was a
maybe
Cubs
Hillary
fan,
won,
actually. Right.
and the Indians beat the Cubs, and then LeBron lost that series. So I don't know. I don't know which timeline I think is
you
better.
got an NBA championship. What are you bitching about?
Yeah, but my Indians are dead. My Indians will never get a championship. They're erased as a woke franchise. The owner,
Right.
Paul Dolan, erased them because of George Floyd.
Right.
Now we're just the Cleveland baseball squadron, whatever they call them now. The Guardians. Lame,
That's
boring.
not that bad of a
generic team.
name. I don't know.
Oh, it's boring. It's generic. They're whitewashing history. The Cleveland Indians were trailblazers.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. Well, whatever.
Well, that's what they call the Space Force, the Guardians, which in that realm, it's kind of cool. But look, the Cleveland Indians, just for the record, were trailblazers, had the first black coach, the first black head coach.
Yeah, let's not get sidetracked.
No. Just real quick.
Okay,
We had the
real
first
quick,
black head
real
coach in
quick.
Frank Robinson. First black head coach in Frank Robinson. We broke the color barrier with the Native American Indians, and we had Louis Sockalexis. That's where they got the nickname the Indians from. So just to whitewash history, make them some generic guardian, it's awful. So, like, would I rather have an Indians win? Probably, because they don't exist anymore. and that will forever be taken from me. So anyway, how did we get here? I think it was CERN firing up with the particle accelerator and launching us into some parallel dimension. LeBron and some Illuminati spell
Well,
that he
it
put
might
on.
have, but then wouldn't we also
Marina.
exist in other parallel dimensions where everything is great? Maybe we're doing a show and all we're taught, there is nothing to talk about. There's no Hunter Biden stuff. So we're just talking about, various, cuisines from, international cuisine buffets. We'd rather have, baseball chatter. And just how awesome it is that the world and how we're, new era of enlightenment coming together and all the cool new things that were that are making America great again and the world great. But no, we're here covering the dystopia, the greatest shit show in the galaxy. And the
Wouldn't we rather be?
There is no Indians.
Well,
Cleveland Indians, right?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, speaking of Indians, how about this one, Blake? Agree or disagree that Democrats are going to back Nikki Haley over Joe Biden? How about that for a segue?
Very nice. It appears to be plausible, actually. So now that I've seen part of the interview there with Tucker Carlson and Vivek Ramaswamy, because we talked about this last show, what are they going to do? Joe Biden is not probably going to make a second term, and no one's going to want Kamala Harris. And I don't think Michelle is up for it, Michelle Obama. And Gavin Newsom, with the disaster that California is, he's not going to be accepted. So maybe here's a curveball, is that Nikki Haley would be accepted by the Democrats because, she's basically kind of a deep state asset, and in many ways is aligned with those with those special interests. So
are you saying that maybe she would run on the Democrat Party?
I don't know about that. I'm not 100% exactly how it plays out, but I guess there's Democratic super donors are backing Haley, at least maybe just to get rid of Trump. I don't know how any of this is going to play out, but they could be looking at some very unusual measures to keep the status quo alive. And that includes perhaps embracing Nikki Haley. I mean, how conservative is she really? I mean, she obviously seems like a neocon, but the Democrats these days have aligned themselves with neocons. They've embraced them. They love the Bill Kristols or the Liz Cheneys, the Mitt Romneys, even like glorifying John McCain, for God's sakes. So would it be that much? Yeah, I had an article, or I took it out of the stack. It was Whoopi Goldberg, pleading with Liz Cheney. Oh, please run. We got to get rid of Trump.
God, I saw that.
Yeah, so It's not that far-fetched, but I've got too many tabs, so let me see.
Liz Cheney got absolutely blown out. Where was she running? In Wyoming? Oh,
they're all in Iowa right now. They're all in Iowa. Oh, Liz Cheney, yes. Liz Cheney got blown out in her primary in Wyoming, yes.
She got shellacked. Who does Whoopi think her base could be? There's not a single. Look at those sad eyes on Nikki. She looks like a hostage. Look at her. She looks like a sad puppet. Do you see the pain and desperation in those sad, sold out eyes?
Well, hey, this is what she wanted. She wants the money and the power, and she's willing to put herself up there as basically a puppet that's having
those
her
I sold my soul eyes.
Yeah.
Wow. Sometimes a picture can tell now maybe you pause it at the right time, but I've seen her in the debates. She's a train wreck. She is a mess.
Yeah. She does not handle herself that well when she's kind of off the cuff.
No.
And she's been exposed several times doing that. And I think there's part of that in this particular clip, which I can run for a minute here.
Sure.
Your candidate is going to lose. All the polls show that. Joe Biden will not be elected president if current trends continue. So you need to make a change. But there's a problem. And that problem is Joe Biden's running mate. She's half Jamaican. Therefore, she's holy. You can't criticize her, much less demote her. That's not allowed.
That's so ridiculous.
You are stuck with Kamala Harris, and she is even more unpopular than Joe Biden. So what do? Well, if you're smart, maybe you subvert the other party. Maybe you back a Republican candidate who's actually a Democrat, whose priorities are identical to yours. And of course, they found one. Her name is Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is a liberal. She is all in on the 4 tenets of neoliberalism, which are white guilt, a finance-based economy, mass immigration, and endless neocon wars. Strip away all the outward characteristics, and Nikki Haley is identical in her priorities to Joe Biden and the people who back Joe Biden. Watch this tape. This is from last month. Nikki Haley explaining with a straight face that actually Vladimir Putin was behind the October 7th attacks in Israel.
What?
Remember when I told you Putin hit rock bottom? Hamas invaded Israel and did all that brutality on October 7th. October 7th is Putin's birthday. Who's the
Oh my
happiest
God.
person in the world right now? Putin. Why? Because the U.S. and the West took all their eyes off of Ukraine, and what did we do?
This is nutty.
Started looking at Israel.
Yep.
Did Putin call Netanyahu? Nope, not for 10 days. You know who he did call? Hamas. They came the next day and they held hands and said they were friends. We now know the Russian intelligence is what helped Hamas know how to get through that barrier. See the connection.
Oh my God.
If
All
we
right, hold on.
supported-
Hold on, Pa. Just hold on. Holy shit. The military-industrial complex strikes again. She's saying that Russian intelligence told Hamas how to get through the Iron Dome because it's Putin's birthday.
Yep.
So is this what it sounds like to someone who's listening to Q drops for the first time? And they think like this is the goofiest shit ever, but it's like, hold on, you're missing. You might be missing the backstory of like 2 or 3 or 5, 10 years of accurate information that really all does paint a crystal clear picture of what's going on. Is this how goofy Q sounds to someone that's never heard an episode before? That's not familiar with the millions of times that they've been absolutely spot on?
It
that
certainly
how it
could be. But I mean, if you look at the body language of the people behind her, I don't think they're like, buying it. They're not like, oh my God, wow, she's really connected the dots. She's onto something. I think they're kind of like showing some skepticism, like really, like what the H? But
What the H? All right, let this goofball finish.
Okay.
Ukraine and supported Israel. That's only 5% of our defense budget.
Only
See,
5%.
Putin and Ukraine are actually integrally connected to Hamas and Israel, and we need to spend all of our attention and all of our money on those matters rather than on our own country, which is degrading faster than most people can even keep track of. Well, that's completely insane, of course, but it's also something that Joe Biden might say were he capable of speaking that lucidly, and it's certainly something that Joe Biden's biggest donors agree with, which is why many of them are now backing Nikki Haley. See how this works? Vivek Ramaswamy does. He's actually engaged in this. He's running for president, and he's figured out what's actually going on. He joins us now. Vivek, thanks so much for coming on. What have you noticed about the kind of subtext to this race? What's actually going on here, do you think?
Yeah, well, look, I've been convinced for a long time, Tucker, that this was not going to be a standard Trump versus Biden race.
Right.
There's just been enough staring you in the face that made that obvious, right? You start with the trials and the civil trials and the prosecutions, and then they go to the non-prosecution and illegal removals from a ballot without trial on the Trump side. The thing that fascinated me about the Biden side of this, though, is you also see some of the same dynamics. The documents case for Biden trotting itself out after years, long ago in
Election
the Senate. You see a lot of other things with Biden.
Yeah.
Why is the Hunter stuff coming out now when this has been known for 7 years? And so where I thought this was going
Why
was
now?
Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or whichever other puppet they're trotting out to replace Biden. But
Puppet for
one of
sure.
the things that's become clear to me, so that's where I thought this was going. It was not what was meeting the eye, for sure. I think what's become clear to me now, I'm in the thick of this GOP primary, is that the real puppet they're trotting out isn't Gavin Newsom. It isn't Michelle Obama. I was wrong about that, actually. I think the true puppet masters, the thing about them is they're fundamentally nonpartisan in nature. There's a few things they care about. Keeping the foreign war machine humming is high on the list. Keeping the administrative state's control of the United States is also high on the list. Yeah. They found a much more convenient puppet within the Republican Party itself. It's not Gavin, it's not Michelle, it's Nikki, actually. And I think that if you just follow exactly who are the very people who are paying to keep Donald Trump off the ballot, who are funding the lawsuits that keep Trump off the ballot, the Reid Hoffmans of the world funding lawsuits against Trump, the Larry Finks of the world, king of the woke industrial complex, CEO of BlackRock. It's just obvious and hiding in plain sight. Who are these people propping up? It's not Biden, and it's not even Gavin Newsom. It's Nikki Haley within the Republican Party itself.
Well, what do you think of that, Brian?
Wow.
Could they find some way? I mean, anything could happen with this race. They could get Trump arrested, off the ballots, whatever. They could, void the election. That could be a war overseas, and they cancel it. There could be a civil war abroad. Who knows? They don't really have a star candidate to run. Perhaps if Michelle was up for it, but I don't. It doesn't sound like.
How is Michelle a star though? Like that's the part I'm not understanding.
She would be embraced by the Democrats. No, she would get people out there to vote. I think so. Yeah. I mean,
how? With no experience,
it doesn't matter. But she's somebody that would get the base excited to go out and vote if she could handle herself, through the whole campaigning process. But I don't know if she's up for that.
I was listening to Bongino talk, and he said that the Obamas are intensely private people. Michelle being intensely private.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Wait, what?
Nothing. One of the
say it. You got a joke?
One of the comments. It's a naughty comment.
Oh, I didn't check. Sorry.
I don't think that's.
I didn't.
But maybe Michelle does. I don't know. But
Nikki Haley might have a big one. Yeah, I found it interesting too because this story's been shared a couple of times about Chris Christie actually perhaps being a Trump asset, and Trump during the time that this goofy Haley DeSantis circle jerk was happening. What was it on Fox or where was it at? I don't know who was hosting it. I didn't watch it because it left the two most interesting candidates off. If Trump and Vivek aren't there, like, no, I'm not going to give you a moment of my time.
Yeah, even the people that were
interesting.
Yeah, they were bored. Even the hacks, flacks, and lackeys were bored without Ramaswamy on the stage. I think it was the CNN event. With
CNN.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me play this for you real quick.
Yeah.
This was allegedly a hot mic with Chris Christie. It's been rumored that Christie is actually on Team Trump. Like, he's so overtly anti-Trump. But what's the purpose of all of this? It's show business. It's all a game. It's all a play. The world is but the world's a play. The world is but a stage. I think it was a Shakespeare line. All right, let's listen to what they say is Chris Christie on an open mic here, I guess, a town hall in Windham, New Hampshire.
Like that. Yeah, that's what you get. Well, when you give land to China and places like that. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah.
Talking about the competition.
$68 million so far, just on TV.
He says she spent $68 million so far just on TV. He's going to tear into Nikki Haley and... What?
I just said that's astounding. $68 million just on what ads in New Jersey or something. I don't know.
And but here's the thing. Why not soak up all of that dirty globalist fake Republican money and burn it? Like, don't let it actually do anything. Let it go to these loser candidates. But anyway, here, let's take a look.
Biden and Kamala had a kid. Would it be Nikki Haley?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just real quick, something that Jocelyn said. If Biden and Kamala had a kid, it would be Nikki Haley.
Biden and Kamala had it. Okay.
Just on TV. Spent 68 million so far. 59 million by DeSantis. And we spent
and 59 million by DeSantis, by the way.
Way too much money these people have. It's just sickening.
Hey, burn it. Set it on fire if it's going to that globalist George H.W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, Jeb Bush, fake Republican in name only, globalist idiot. Like, burn it. Burn it all. Please. Soak it all
TV.
up.
Spent 68 million so far. 59 million by DeSantis. And we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment? You know?
By the way, Christie talking about punching above his weight. I don't know if bringing up weight's a great strategy there, but he continues.
And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She's going to get smoked, Blake. She's not up to this. Because, of course,
return on their investment, you know? And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
And he's still going to carry out, right?
Yes. Oh, I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well,
then they're saying that he's probably going to get out after Iowa. So, I mean, you know, a lot of stuff is going to shake out soon. And there is a contingent out there thinking that Mr. Ramaswamy is going to drastically outperform all of these other puppets. What say you, sir?
Well, they've got a crisis. So usually they're used to controlling both sides of the election. Then it doesn't matter who people vote for. If you got Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton, does it matter if people vote for Republican or Democrat? No. But if you have a popular populist like Trump and the other side doesn't really have a viable candidate that can compete, then yeah, there's a problem. And so are they going to scramble, go to a plan C, plan D, and try to trot out, Nikki Haley and repackage her in some way, or make her the Republican? They'll vote Republican for Nikki, or I don't know if Nikki would actually switch sides or how that exactly plays out. Or if they can just get Trump out in the primary and keep Nikki, then they could. If they get Nikki Haley versus Biden, Newsom, Michelle Obama, then of course that.
Yeah, then the globalists win either way.
Right.
The military-industrial complex wins either way. Money laundering through Ukraine wins either way. World War III wins either way. We don't fucking want that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point here. We don't fucking want that.
No, I agree. But that's where they want to set it up. But it's not about us. It's about them staying in power.
And it's about Nikki for the 24 ticky. Thank you, Kenneth. Okay, any other point you wanted to make about about Vivek and Tucker?
Not necessarily. No, I think we're good. We cover that.
Okay, cool. Let's
thoroughly enough.
Yeah, I mean, giving them way too much credit. These are shit stains on the bottom of our shoe. These candidates, the DeSantis and Haley, they're shit stains on the bottom of our shoe. We're going to barely remember their names in the annals of history when you're looking at this corruption, this massive global effort to enslave all of us. There's going to be big names and there's going to be shit stains, and they're shit stains. So, okay, what are you pulling up here?
No, I already had,
I
had this also in my stack. Oh, yeah, we forgot one other quick thing. Hunter Biden asked if you were on crack today after showing up at.
Yes, we did forget that. I'm sorry.
No
if
worries.
you got that video clip, asking the questions that America really wants to know.
Yeah.
Other side of me.
Hunter, what's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today?
Mr. Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone?
That might be the last time we see that guy.
You had no involvement in your business.
Do you have a dad? Does he call you? You answer the phone?
Yes. But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
I think
Okay, he
journalist
says,
is gonna
Hunter,
get in
what's your
trouble.
favorite type of crack?
Yep.
Hunter, are you on crack today? And he turns and gives him a mob scowl.
Yep.
He was trying to size him up to take him out. Like, like that glare had an obvious meaning.
I didn't see it directly, but I can only imagine. And yeah, that guy's going to be in trouble. There's going to be unintended consequences somewhere.
You know
But,
what? You know
it was
who's
funny. It was all in good fun, right?
You know who's in trouble? Bidens are in trouble. The globalists are in trouble. The traitors are in trouble. I'm tired of this dancing around, being scared of any of this crap. Like they have committed so many crimes and intentionally degraded the lives of Americans and people across this globe. They've sent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people home in body bags because of their stupid bullshit, never-ending military-industrial complex wars. They are at war with us. Fuck them. Like, enough of this. Like, we really have to reframe this, and we really have to grow a set of balls, as Nancy Mace said about Hunter lacking them. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because just reframe it. You're a crackhead, dude. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but you're a crackhead. But here's my question, then. Where were the bailiffs? Why didn't the bailiffs close the door and hold him in there? They had no authority to do that?
I guess I don't know. I don't know exactly how that plays out. So, yes, it's easy to look at it and say, why didn't they just arrest him or something like that? I mean, he did show up and then ran as soon as he knew Marjorie Taylor Greene was going to grill him, and it was going to be embarrassing. So they fled, and we'll see how it proceeds from here.
All right, we shall see. Dreamer Ultra says 100% never Nikki. Yeah, never Nikki. Double N. Right. Double N, everybody. Okay, next topic. All right. Well, we've been talking about globalists, Blake, so let's touch on this story. Agree or disagree that Poland is in danger of being taken over by globalists? What do we know over there? Agree or disagree? Poland's in danger of being taken over.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think we can agree, almost on every country, but they've certainly had some major political events, some alarming things taking place. So, yeah, certainly they're in the fight right now. They've got a lot of, there's a lot of corrupt politicians, and it's also trying to decipher what exactly is going on. I don't know all of the players involved, but it's usually one of those things where it's the populists versus the puppets. How do you like that? Puppets and the populists. It's another showdown. That could be
a title. That could be a chapter in your book, Blake.
Yeah, someday. So let's see. What do we have?
Puppets and populists. Sounds like something you would write for me to say, and I'd have to say it out loud. Puppets and populists.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's people that are puppets of the military-industrial complex or the World Economic Forum or what have you, versus the people's choice, the populists. And
by the way, speaking of
battles on many,
I interrupted you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. And just many different countries. There's so many different countries where they have these things going on, whether it's Macron or Le Pen or Great Britain, Argentina, other Latin American countries. So there's a battle everywhere for this stuff, for people just anti-EU type of candidates. I don't know them all offhand, but of course we've seen the battles here with Trump versus the establishment in the United States as well.
Well, talking about populists.
Yeah.
Did you have anything in your stack about Trump being asked by Fox News? Trump's been really smart to do counter programming against the fake debates. So that he's always in the news cycle, but he alluded to already having his vice president picked out. Did you happen to catch that? I don't know if you had that in the stack or if you're coming up to it.
I did have that in my stack, and I think I got rid of it because I had too many tabs open. He did mention that he's already got somebody in mind, but he doesn't say who. I think people are speculating it might have something to do with the military. I mean, the most obvious one there is General Flynn, but that doesn't make it. That's not necessarily true. So who knows? But yeah, it would be great to get somebody powerful in there to help him kick some ass, because we can't have a traitor like Pence, who's a snake. He's going to turn on you, and he's more loyal to the deep state.
And he also want to keep your enemies. Chris Christie. He was asked if it was going to be Chris Christie, and he kind of laughed at, yeah, that would be something, huh? He didn't say no, but he said, huh, that would be something along those lines.
That would be bad. No, they would. That's the problem with having somebody like, Nikki or Haley or Chris Christie, is that they would probably find some way to assassinate Trump and have them take the spots. And I'm sure
would you still vote for President Trump if he had Nikki Haley as a running mate?
I don't think I would. I don't know. I would have to look at the other alternatives. And if there was a Vivek Ramaswamy and he had another solid candidate, what if Vivek ran with RFK Jr.? That would be a more appealing ticket to me than Trump, Nikki Haley, because then automatically I'd be very skeptical, and then I would assume that they're going to take out Trump somehow, and put Nikki Haley in power, and then that would
bad strategic move. It's almost like that'd be a bad strategic move. I would encourage people to go to X and make sure you're subscribed, or make sure you're following the New American Media at American_media_. I put out something. It was maybe a 7.5 minute video. Vivek was in Iowa, and it was 7.5 minutes. I didn't know where to clip it, so I didn't play it, but it's on there. I encourage you to watch it. If we had show notes, we'd put it on there. Mr. Producer, Jamie, could you make sure that's in the show notes? Anyway, we're our own Jamies. But anyway,
Jamie, what show is that?
Huh?
What show is that? Is that Crowder or something?
No, Jamie. Jamie's with Rogan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, the long-term Rogan producer. But anyway, Jamie, pull up that video of an ape ripping off the arms of a man and beating him with it. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that. Thanks, Jamie. Anyway, I posted the video. Make sure you're following at American_media_ on X, and Blake is at TV's Blake Walley as well. Follow him. But at American_media_, there's a 7.5 minute clip where some climate psychos tried to interrupt a town hall. And Vivek did something really great. And he's like, okay, well, here's the deal. I'll make you a deal. I will give you the microphone. You can get your point across, whatever it is you want to say, for 60 seconds. I'll let you say your piece. But then you're going to quiet down and let me have my piece to directly answer what it is you're saying about me. Is that a deal that we can make? Because if so, I won't have you removed. But like, if you want to address everybody in the room and be heard, please do. Because it's American. We should have a right to debate openly. Such a great strategy. And she starts talking. She's 2 sentences in and she figures out, oh crap, I never thought that I would be given a chance to speak other than just yell things until I'm removed. She starts sounding dumber by sentence number 2. And it goes into feelings, and she's out of ideas. She starts repeating herself. She's scrambling and make a random accusation. And she gets dumber by the sentence. Following that, Vivek, okay, well, I appreciate that. Now, my reaction is, this climate cult, it's fraudulent. Carbon dioxide is plant food, and we have more greenery on planet Earth now than we've had in whatever time frame, in maybe not Earth's history, but in 300 years or however long time frame. And he said, no, for a percentage of a degree in global warming, I'm not going to do what you're saying we should do. I think that would be foolish, and I think the data represents that. I was listening to the reason I'm bringing that up. Number one, because it's interesting to watch how he handles himself and how, he really hasn't met a question he has been unable to answer. I was listening to Scott Adams talk about why he's supporting Vivek in the 2024 election. And he said, Trump was out there saying that Nikki Haley, she doesn't have birthright citizenship, so she might not even be eligible to run. And Scott Adams hated that, I guess. He thought that he thinks that's disgusting, and he doesn't want to have to defend what Trump was trying to say with that. On the flip side, Blake, I don't know. Was Nikki Haley born to 2 parents who were actual citizens? Because the birthright citizenship, once again, there's a bit of a dispute, and there's different camps that say, well, both of your parents have to be naturalized citizens for you to become a citizen. And then people like Scott Adams, like, no, if you're born in the United States, you're an anchor baby. If you're born here, you're eligible to be a citizen. And it's like, well, that's not what a natural born citizen is defined in the Constitution. It gets into some like finer points. And I think we need just a final definition on this already, because it's very important. But Scott Adams made the broader point, the grander scale argument that, Trump gets a lot of things right, but he does get in his own way a lot. He does often say things that are bombastic and that maybe come out in a way that he's really tired of having to defend him in the media every single effing day. It gets old. But Vivek, one of the best orators we've seen. He said I've never had to read a quote from Vivek or listen to a soundbite that was cringy. Something came out clunky, put his foot in his mouth. It came out sounding, it could be misinterpreted. It could be used against him. Vivek's the best that the Republicans have to ruin all these terrible Democrat ideas. And he's not as costly as Trump. And that's why he's supporting him for president. Any thoughts on birthright citizenship with Nikki Haley or on Vivek being less costly than Trump and some of his miscues and foot in the mouths?
Well, yeah, it's interesting stuff. Nikki, as far as I'm concerned, is eligible. Yes, her parents are both from India. I don't know exactly when they became citizens. I think she's perfectly eligible as far as I'm concerned, but she's a dangerous candidate. She's clearly not a populist. She's being controlled and having her strings pulled by military-industrial complex and special interests. I agree with Scott to a large extent. I really like Trump. I'm happy to have Trump, but I really like Vivek a lot. I know a lot of people aren't, they're distrustful of him, but I think he's handles himself really well. He's very open about that. He hasn't shied down from any debates or any pushback. And yes, I like the way he handles himself when he does talk to some of these activists or people that disagree with him. He is extraordinarily smart. And I would be very, very happy to have him. I'm not saying I would vote for him over Trump, but man, he does. Of course, Scott Adams brings up a great point. So that's people should take him more serious. I know people are pretty much already got their minds made up. It's Trump or nothing. But I think we do definitely have to consider Vivek. And hopefully, maybe they can even run together. I don't know, somehow, some way. So I'd be thrilled with either one of them. But there is something to be said about Vivek, and that yes, Trump is polarizing. A lot of the stuff is manufactured by his haters, and so he's not nearly as bad as they try to represent him. But Vivek doesn't have the kind of he doesn't rub people wrong on many. They don't have the Vivek derangement syndrome. So yeah, he could be somewhat more of a uniter and get some more of the Democrats on his side, and Trump will never get those votes. So.
Well, I mean, they were bashing Mitt Romney for having binders of women, and he had a dog on the roof of his car one time. Like, they will bash any Republican for any stupid thing. So it's like, oh, get rid of Trump. He's a lightning rod for the ire of the left. It's like everything is common sense, decency, normality, good ideas, rooting for the wrong team. The Democrats produce ire on anybody who's in their way. They're monsters. I really do think they should be considered a terrorist organization at this point. For their dereliction of duty at the southern border. It's an intentional invasion, and they're funding it, they're bankrolling it, they're supporting it, and it's treason. So I really do think that party's awful. So on some regard, yes, I think Trump should get out of his own way, but I don't know that he knows how to. I've told you on this program other times, Blake, that had he just shut the hell up and let Biden talk, Biden would have tongue twisted himself into a problem, but he wouldn't get out of it. He doesn't know how to get out of his own way. It was bully, 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 raise your voice, bully, 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 bully. And that's when it was all the back and forth with Chris Matthews, and just shut up, lob the water balloon over Biden and watch it hit him in his face. Get out of the way. And he can't get out of the way of himself sometimes. And man, I'm having 1,000 birds swarm in my window. I keep seeing the shadows flash, and I keep looking like, what's going on outside my window?
Brian's got ADD.
Well, I mean, it's flashing in my eye like I'm getting Morse code from, by the way, birds aren't real, right? But no, I hadn't even considered the thought about Nikki Haley's eligibility until it was brought up a couple days ago, because a naturalized citizen is often referred to as somebody who is born to two citizen parents on U.S. soil. And that was the the knock on McCain. Well, he was born off of the United States soil. Well, yeah, he was born on a ship, but it's because his dad was in the military and his dad was a citizen. Okay, well, I don't know. I think we need a final determinative answer on what a naturalized citizen is. A natural born citizen, I believe, is the phrase that the Constitution uses. So if Nikki Haley's parents were not citizens when she was born, I mean, that is a valid legal question that needs to be answered. But I looked on Google, my mistake for being on Google. They censor all sorts of stuff, almost as bad as ESPN censoring Pat McAfee, kicking his show off and kicking Aaron Rodgers off because of the Jimmy Kimmel comment the other day, which is interesting. But yeah, Google couldn't give me a quick answer when I did a quick search to see if her parents were naturalized citizens at that point. But I was reading articles that said they were not. And if that's the case, then maybe she is ineligible. But anyway, that being said,
okay, Brian, we got to go lightning round. I got like 15 tabs, and I got about 15 minutes. And
I think Vivek is much. That's where I was at, Blake. I think Vivek is much more cogent, precise. He makes some of the best arguments almost all of the time. The more you listen to him, it's like the more he's on point. He throws strikes. Trump hits a lot of batters. He's an effective pitcher, but he hits a lot of batters. He walks a lot of batters. Vivek throws a lot of strikes, gets a lot of groundouts. Jocelyn is saying both Nikki Haley's parents were not American. Both of them were not American citizens when she was born here. She is not eligible to be POTUS. We have to stop supporting this growing list of ineligible candidates, which is very dangerous. All right. Well, Scott thought it was something shameful and racist that Trump brought up, but I feel like it is a legitimate constitutional question we have to have answered. So, okay. Anyway, get to your story, Blake. We'll go to a lightning round.
All right, where were we? We started this. We've had this on the screen for the entire talk about Vivek here. But yes, Poland in danger of being taken over by the globalists. Perhaps we got the Polish PM Donald Tusk, not to be confused with Donald Trump, arresting two opposition members of parliament inside the presidential palace. President Duda already pardoned the duo and vows to have them freed. So yes, they're kind of doing similar things like is going on in the United States. We've got these big spectacles happening with Hunter Biden, or whether it's putting Trump on trial for any number of different things, or having impeached, arresting your political opponents. So they've got some issues going on there in Poland. What else do we have? Chosen by the Polish parliament as a new PM, Donald Tusk vowing loyalty to the EU and the US, calling for world mobilization to help Ukraine. As soon as we're going to get these globalist stooges. They're not populists. They are puppets. Let's do another one. We got a tweet here. Poland arresting opposition party members. USA arresting opposition party leaders. Germany's ruling party talking about banning their opposition party. Ukraine not holding elections. The West is collapsing. Got Polish patriots began gathering in Warsaw to protest mass opposition arrests by the new globalist-backed parliament. Got the community notes about the police escorting members of the government to prison following a verdict on abuse of power. You just never know who to trust these days. Local protests are limited to they say a few hundred people, and have not taken a mass scale. So there's a dispute over that, whether it's tens of thousands or just a few hundred. I'm not sure, but there was an interesting video. I haven't seen. I've only seen about half of it. So people can maybe go check that out. Jack Posobiec. Would he be eligible? He always claims to be, he's proud to be Polish, but I don't know if he was actually born there or not. Here he is with Steve Bannon talking about what's happening over in Poland with the parliament. And that's about all I have on that one. Brian, do you have any thoughts?
Look, it's just it's global. We had Javier Milei recently talking about the United States has lost all of its moral high ground. Look at what you're doing to politically persecute President Donald Trump. If America doesn't lead the way with having some sort of, a semblance of I don't know, civility, decorum, jurisprudence, some sort of parameters of right and wrong, of things that are allowable and out of bounds. If these are just a murky gray area, 50 shades of gray, I mean, look at what the rest of the world's going to do. I'm not saying that they're only doing this now in Poland because of Biden and his overreach and his treasonous corruption over here, but it sure doesn't help. It sure doesn't help. America really is the shining beacon on the hill, the city on the hill. Washington, D.C. and the United States of America used to stand for something. And we've fallen short of our ideals every step of the way. But at least there was a grounding principle, a core series of beliefs and strategies and parameters. It seems like there is no parameters anymore. No parameters. So, Blake, it's a story to keep our eyes on and see if the Poland story starts to grow over the next few days. It's, when you put your ear to the train track, it's what we like to do here at the New American Media. You hear rumblings of things that I don't even know why, but when a story feels important, I feel like we need to share it with you. Do some more research and bring it back to us and find out if the story's growing, if there was nothing to it. But yeah, that's just another case of it sure reeks. You're having a lot of stuff in Spain, France, Italy, Germany, the UK, Ireland. I mean, all of Europe is on fire. They are very unhappy across the board. So it's something we definitely need to pay attention to, Blake. So lightning round, let's bounce to this one. We were talking about, globalism in Europe, who's been invaded in the United States with the treasonous dereliction of duty at our southern border. Do you agree or disagree that we should make room in our homes to harbor illegal aliens? Agree or disagree? We should make room in our homes to harbor illegal aliens.
Well, I couldn't. This is so ridiculous. This is actually happening, but here we are.
Cuckoo clock.
Yeah, and I don't know how much the American people will put up with. I don't know if they're paying attention. I don't know if they have any balls. I don't know what they're going to do, but they are just like messing with us and throwing it in our face. Elon's been putting out a lot of great tweets, kind of sounding the alarm on these very issues. He's saying here, New York City just forced kids out of their school to house illegals. And don't forget this clip about Massachusetts asking residents to host illegals in their homes and properties. Soon it will be mandatory. It certainly could, the way things are going. They have to, and they seem to be prioritizing the illegals over our own people here at home. We got homeless people and people that are in poverty, and yet we're rolling out the red carpet for the illegal aliens, just flooding the borders. So here, watch this clip. It's disturbing.
Most importantly, if you have an extra room or suite in your
turn it up a little bit.
I cannot. This is as high as it goes, unfortunately. So I will start it over. You guys can raise your volume, and I will turn it down as soon as it's over.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
And who is this again? This is...
Okay, this is, I don't know if it's the mayor of Massachusetts. I'm not 100% who this is. So let's just, we got a lightning round. Let's lightning round. Let's knock this out. Here we go.
If you have an extra room or suite in your home, please consider hosting a family. Safe housing and shelter is our most pressing need. Become a sponsor family. You can contact the Brazilian Worker Center for more information on how you can step up if you're willing to have an additional family be part of your family.
You want to sign up for that, Brian? You want to host an extra family?
Where does she get off our most pressing need? The most pressing need is go away. Go home, come through the right way. Like, we're not designed to handle this. How are we living in a world where this is something that this lady could get up there and say that that's something they need to do? They need to round them up and take them back to where they came from. I couldn't just go to Bolivia or Libya or anything that rhymes with Ivia or Ibia and expect to become a citizen or just expect housing or there's no way I just go to Greece or Belarus and I want them to take care of me. And I need the Belarus mayor to come up and say, it's the most pressing need that you open your home to Brian. Who the hell am I? I just waltz into your country and demand things? I feel like we're living in a cuckoo clock, Blake, and I don't know how we got here and how to get out of it other than getting rid of the Democrat Party, because they seem to be the ones that are pushing all of this stuff.
Yeah, well, they certainly are.
It certainly wasn't happening at these levels when an adult was in the room with Donald Trump. Yes, he acts like a child in many ways, but a lot of his policies were very adult policies. So, all right, illegal
If you're a local
aliens.
official,
Yep.
a college president, a business owner, or a faith leader with an available building or space in your community, please work with us to offer it as a shelter site. If you're a social service provider, please consider becoming an emergency assistance homeless shelter provider. Our resources are stretched thin there as well. And if you're a hotel or a motel owner, consider opening it up for emergency assistance.
Okay, yes, there's a lot of that. We've got other concerning more from Elon Musk, given the recent massive influx of illegal immigrants, exceeding babies born in the United States.
Oh my God, why are we doing this to our country?
It's a good question, but there's more. We've got this is what happens when you run out of hotel rooms. Soon cities will run out of schools to vacate. They will come for your homes. We've got buses are now pulling up and dropping off illegals. School is closed tomorrow because illegals will be sleeping in the school's gym. So, could you imagine that? Like, hey, I mean, it'd be one thing if these people were actual refugees escaping some Hitlerian dictator or some extreme weather or something there was no control of. They were going to be staying temporarily, and then they would be going back to their homes to help rebuild. That would be one thing. That would be a great humanitarian way to help our fellow earthlings, whatever we want to call it. But this is not what this is. This is an invasion, and these people, no real allegiance. They're just escaping wherever they're from. And this is an invasion. It's out of control. And these people will, yes, they are now like priority citizens. And there's nothing being done to stop them from coming over. What else?
You know, and so many of these videos, Blake, they're military-aged fighting men, you know, military-aged men.
Right.
These are the people that need to stay where they live and fix the place that they live. What, we want the cowards who are fleeing? Like, why aren't you doing anything to improve the, if I'm fleeing a bad situation, well, why don't you make it better? Why do we want you up here? If you're not willing to make your home better, why do we want you coming up here ruining our home? Why don't you stay and fix where you're at? Like you said, if this was a legitimate circumstance of, you know, catastrophic such and such, okay, on a limited basis, once you've been screened, once you're actually in a system, once you're actually complying and working and learning the language and working to become an actual citizen, that's one thing. No, we just want millions of people, military-age fighting men. Just swarm our border. Yeah, I'm sure when the lights go out, you're not going to be sleeper cells ready to take us over. Part of the Obama globalist plan. Awesome.
Yeah, perhaps. So it's great replacement. They're hiding centers. Legal immigrants welcomed. U.S. citizens are not. They got welcome centers all over New York that our tax dollars are financing. It's absolutely crazy that this is happening here in America. All of these people, when we have so many people already out on the streets homeless.
We've got a massive fentanyl problem. We got a massive drug abuse problem. We have a massive homeless problem, a veteran mental health problem. Like, we need to take care of our own damn people. Enough of this stuff. You got to take care of our own damn people. Period.
Yep, I hear you. You got Maine. They're coming in, paying rent for the homeless migrants.
Oh my God!
Our money.
Illegal aliens.
Yeah, when did the illegal aliens become our top priority? We're just going to sneak them in through the border, give them money and benefits. So, yeah, Elon Musk warning migrants are coming for your homes.
Joe Biden, everybody. This is your Democrat. If Biden is your nominee, so be it. This is the result of the Democrat Party. This is not about Biden. This is about the Democrat Party. Vote against them everywhere. Immediately demand voter accountability. Same-day ballots, paper ballots, one-day voting, signature verification in rare instances where it has to be mailed in. My God, Blake, I don't know if we can even save this. It might be too. This country might be too toxic to save. In which case, we're going to try to flee and go to Bolivia or Libya, and then I'm going to be complaining that they won't let me in their gymnasium. The exact opposite of what I said. But at some point, we will have to flee. At some point, we will have to get the hell out of here.
Go where?
I know. Or we just go down with the ship, go swinging.
Yeah, we have to go down with the ship. There's nowhere else to go.
Blake,
it become a state issue.
If Trump wins, we should conduct massive deportations.
Right. So there he is. He's vowing to oversee the largest deportation effort in history. And, it's sad. A lot of these people are going to have to be sent back. I'm sure we can probably keep some of them who are valuable people. Will be good contributors. I'm happy to have, keep the good ones. But there's so many that should not be here, and they should not have come. Maybe they can be compensated in some way. Hopefully they can work it out, but this is not the way immigration is supposed to work. So what else do we have, Brian?
I think Mexico needs to, you need to build a facility on the other side of the wall, finish the wall, and you just start moving them to Mexico and say, you guys allowed this. You need to handle moving them back to wherever the hell they came from. So they're coming from all over Africa, all over the Middle East, all over South America, all over Central America. Mexico has been allowing this. Mexico needs to fix this.
Okay. Well, Brian, I would love to cover some of these other issues, but I do not have time. So I will send you a couple. I have got to run.
You're 6 minutes early today.
6 minutes early?
Is it 49 after? You usually leave at 55 after.
Yeah, it's awful. And I'm late, and it's embarrassing, and it's stressful, and I would love to be able to finish the show within an hour and a half. That would be spectacular, but we have failed once again. That's okay. But anyway, I'll leave you that. It's some interesting. Play part of that video with is the George Carlin AI, which is very interesting. I would love to hear more of that. I'll have to watch the rest of it later. But they can have AI listen to everything that George Carlin's ever done, and then use that to talk about current issues. And it's interesting, controversial, and I think his daughter chimed in on that. There's a tweet from her on that one, Brian. There's also an interesting story about parents going to prison for refusing their kids to go trans. What else? We already know the World Economic Forum is fearing fake news. We should all fear fake news, but we all have different variations or versions of what we consider fake news. So that is a major thing. Outside of that, I think that's all I have. So thank you, everybody. And we'll have to catch you next time because I got to go.
All right. Thank you, Blake. To be continued, follow Blake at TV's Blake Walley and The Next Level News. We'll talk to you soon, Blake. Thank you.
Everybody, take care. All right. I'm out.
All right, let me see if I can pull some of these up real quick. Okay, so that's the effort to oversee the largest deportation effort in history. I mean, if you sneak into a concert and someone asks, hey, I need to see your wristband or your ticket stub, and you don't have it, you get escorted out of the movie theater. I know I mixed metaphors there, but you're asked to leave and you leave. That's it. Like, there's nothing complicated here. And by the way, for Blake saying, I wish we could get a show done in an hour and a half. It's only been an hour 37, by the way. What does Kelly Carlin say? I think I'm sharing the screen. I think I have to double click now. I really wish it wouldn't do the double click because it slows me down. But this is a tweet from Kelly Carlin. Now I lost the page that it was on. Goodness. She says, my statement regarding the AI-generated George Carlin special. My dad spent a lifetime perfecting his craft from his very human life. Brain and imagination. No machine will ever replace his genius. These AI-generated products are clever attempts at trying to recreate a mind. It says 1 of 3. Is there more? I don't see any more underneath. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't see 3 more. It says 1 of 3, but I don't see more. But it is interesting. I mean, look, I've enjoyed listening to some audio where if you say, what would it be like if Linkin Park covered an Adele song or, whatever, and you put it in. Some of these have been fantastic. Some of them give me goosebumps. They're so well done. I know it's AI, but it's still cool. Like, what if this band would have covered this song? What if they would have written a different song or a unique song? Like, I think there's a place for it. Maybe stuff like that shouldn't ever have copyright and you can never buy it or license it or sell it. Or I don't really know. I feel like this would be an awesome conversation to do an entire agree to disagree show and get some either a panel or some expert in on AI property right, intellectual property rights. Let's kind of hear the pros and cons, because I don't want to limit. I would love to hear Chris Cornell doing an acoustic version of Sweet Home Alabama. I've never heard that, but like, if your mind can think it, I'd love to hear it. I'd like to hear Bobcat Goldthwait singing "Where Did You Sleep Last Night," like from the Nirvana Unplugged set. Just for shits and giggles. That'd be funny. All right, so here's a question of the day. Here, let me get rid of that tab about AI representations of dead comedians should be banned. Question of the day. Leave it in the comments on YouTube or here on the show. Tell me, which artist would you like to put into an AI generator, artificial intelligence generator, and hear a cover song? Like, would you like to hear John Lennon singing Say Hello to Heaven by Temple the Dog? I know Blake hates that song, so that was a funny one to try. But who would you like to hear do a cover? That'd be interesting. Yeah, comedy's different to just kind of get a take on, like, how do you just fake comedy? I understand how you can take like a Linkin Park style and you understand what their guitars generally have, the tone and timbre and timbre and kind of what they sound like, what effects pedals they use, and kind of the general A, B, B, A, like what format and where do you put a bridge, and you got the backup vocalist Shinoda jumping in and screaming something into the chorus, and you kind of have a feel for the cadence and the like. There are ways to put AI versions of music together. I'm telling you, I've seen some pretty cool stuff. So I'm not instantly against it. I think it's neat and I want to play with it. But it's like, who owns that? And should you be able to say, no, I don't want Bruce Springsteen to have the rights to my music? Like, I dislike that guy. I hate his politics. Can't stand him. No, I shouldn't. He shouldn't be able to use my. But that's where it comes down to, can you make money off of it, or could people do it for fun? Can they post it and leave it up? But you have to charge for it, and then the original artist or artists have to get a cut of the pie, a slice of the pie. I don't know. That is interesting. So yeah, I was reading some of the quick comments, and they said, yeah, I gave this about 30 seconds. It was an impersonation of George Carlin, but it wasn't very good. If you scroll further, maybe some people thought it was really interesting. I don't know. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Let's see what other articles Blake sent on. Hang on. Where's the articles in the private chat? There we go. Okay, that's Kelly Carlin. Oh, I guess this must have been the George Carlin special. Yeah, it's an hour long. I mean, I obviously can't play this. Although, once again, who owns the intellectual property rights to it? I can't see comments, and the page isn't fully loading. It's a little weird. Okay, George Carlin, I'm glad I'm dead. Actually, let me read a comment or three if they have comments. Comments loading very slowly. The most unrealistic thing about this is the audience. The Bill Cosby joke was only one to make me smile. I hate that this exists. I hate more that I laughed multiple times. Ah! Okay. Now that's a fair comment right there. Someone else saying, it's effed up because I'm pretty sure if he was still alive, this would be fairly accurate to his material nowadays. I guess my thing is, why doesn't somebody just be the next George Carlin? That's awesome. The person who wrote this script for the AI obviously knows how to imitate him pretty good. Just do it in your own voice. Someone else, this is very good. So good, in fact, that I forgot at some point I was listening to an AI. Not perfect, but great. The thing that's tripping me out is that it created a midpoint between young Carlin and old Carlin's voices. Interesting. It sounds just like Carlin's stuff. I'm very impressed. Okay, so some of these are pretty positive comments. I didn't know that I would like this, but I laughed out loud numerous times. I know it's hard to say because I've gone into this knowing it's AI, but as I'm listening, I feel as though even if I didn't know it was AI, and Carlin wasn't dead, obviously, I would be able to tell. We truly live in a weird, insane time. The future is effed up. Yeah, once again, I didn't know that I would like this, but I laughed out loud numerous times. So, all right, look, it's piqued my interest. Here, let me tweet it out. Follow or exit out. It's so stupid. Elon should have started developing the X app and just kept Twitter as a part of it, kept the name. I don't know. I mean, who am I to tell him what he should have done? But I will tweet this out at American_media_, and I'm going to tag at TV's Blake Walley. So follow us and leave your thoughts on that. I'm curious to get what you think there. Okay, that's Kelly Carlin. That is the special. And then this is Modernity. This is the Paul Joseph Watson program. Not program, but he has a website and he puts content out. I mean, call it a program, whatever. But this is some terrifying stuff. It's one thing to be an adult at 18 years old and say, there's things that I would really like to do. I'd like to go tiger hunting. I want to jump out of planes. I want to serve in the military. I'd like to become a professional ping pong player. Whatever. I would like to chop body parts off and dress differently and act differently and take hormones and pay for all of that myself. At that point, you're like, well, you're an adult. I would perhaps strongly encourage you not to mangle yourself. You got fully functional plumbing. Just be who you are and love who you love. But please, it's up to you at this point. If you pay for it, don't expect us to pay for it. But that's really not what's going on. It's really parents who refuse to let their kids go trans could face 7 years in prison by Paul Joseph Watson. Scotland and LGBT tyranny. And whatever happened to this love equals love and love who you love and just accept people for who they are? What is this where you can't accept a dog for being a dog, so you're going to put it into surgery and give it hormones and try to make it meow like a cat? It's just not. Why can't they just accept the people? It's so weird because this movement is not accepting people for who they are. In this encouragement to just kind of confuse kids into thinking they're not who they are. You're born who you are. Here's the article. Parents, did I not click maybe I didn't double click it. I want you to see the article, not me. This double click is so annoying. Thank you, Restream. There we go. Here's the article. Now I got to find the tab again. This used to be an awesome system, and now they've messed it up. Okay. Paul Joseph Watson. Parents who refuse to accept their children identifying as transgender could face 7 years in jail under a new law in Scotland. Yeah, Proposals published on Tuesday state that actions designed to change or suppress another individual's gender identity, causing them physical or psychological harm, would become illegal under the radical law, reports The Telegraph. Actions designed to change or suppress another individual's gender identity, causing them physical or psychological harm, would become illegal. I think pushing someone trans is causing physical and psychological harm, which should be illegal to protect people. I just, 2 + 2 = 5 here, folks. I don't know. The law would ban so-called conversion practices, which often take place in a family setting, according to ministers. You mean reminding people that you were born into the body that you are, and that is who you are? And you should love yourself and not try to become something you can never become? That is affirming. That is gender affirming. That's love. Love equals love. So this would mean that if parents try to stop their child dressing in a way that reflects their sexual orientation or gender identity, they could face criminal sanctions, even if they believe they are acting in the child's best interest. That is... Because dressing in a way how could dressing in a way reflect your sexual orientation? Because if you're into girls, if you're into guys, be into whatever you're into. Do the thing that you're into. This tweet embedded here says, we have grave concerns that these plans will criminalize loving parents who could face years in jail simply for refusing to sign up to their gender ideology cult. Marion Calder, FWS. Actions deemed to be coercive or controlling. Oh, you mean like parents of a minor child? I'm sorry, that is grooming AF. It's the parents who are in charge of these children, not the state. Actions deemed to be coercive or controlling in attempting a minor child to stop them from wanting to go trans would be illegal even if performed with a desire to help or protect the person. In the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, this is me speaking now, of psychological disorders, gender dysphoria is a mental illness. You need to work with them to help them love themselves and try to encourage them to just be who you are. This is all backwards. The Scottish Equalities Minister behind the proposals, Emma Roddick, pictured. Emma Roddick. Literally erotic. 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 Sexualizing kids. Erotic. Erotic says, I'm erotic. Are you erotic? I'm erotic. Pictured is a 26-year-old woman who identifies as a bisexual. Who cares? Just do what you do. Like, it's nobody's business who you're into. Like, you know, I find it pretty cringy when too much locker room talk about sexual exploits. Just, I don't know. It's pretty cringy. Like, do your thing. Like, I kind of don't, almost never want to hear about it. That's right. She was still in school at 2015. Exactly the person you'd want imposing her wacky Gen Z views on millions of people. I'm having a hard time getting through this story, but let me power through. People in Scotland who question radical transgender activism are routinely targeted by the authorities. A 50-year-old mother was charged with a transphobic hate crime and faces up to 2 years in prison after she retweeted an image of a suffragette ribbon. Okay, yeah, tweet a ribbon, and you go to jail. I cannot get through this article. Men who commit vile sexual attacks on women and children and then identify as women to avoid male prisons are also protected by the state. Lord help us. Last year, former Scottish leader Nicola Sturgeon said transgender criminals convicted for raping women are women despite them being men or biological men. And if we can please stop saying biological men, just say men. In the same month, the Scottish government refused to remove a transgender rapist from a female prison, despite his conviction for raping 2 women when he was a biological male. Folks, this is why you can't vote for this radical Democrat Party. Not an endorsement of the Republican Party by any stretch. I do not like the Republican Party. I don't like either of these parties. And I don't like that they've confused both of us for so long. Both of us. Confused all of us. Talk about confusing people into believing you're something that you're not. The Rhino, Republican in name only. They pretend to be small government, small spending, pro-liberty, pro-freedom, and they're anything but. Now that's the wolf in sheep's clothing right there. Sheep-affirming clothing. Wolf-affirming clothing. They've pushed far too far. And this country is in danger of tipping over. We've got to find a way to get back on track with some common sense. And to help people that are suffering from gender dysphoria. And to be kind to them. Once again, this has gone so far. It's hard to remember, like the mid-90s. I believe it was the mid-90s. What was that guy's name? I had it on the tip of my tongue. There was like a crime that happened out in the like in Nebraska, Wyoming, Montana. Oh, I think it was Matthew Shepard, gay guy, and he was attacked by several people and beaten and killed. I think his only crime was just being gay. Was in the story, like how they explained it. You hear some of these trans like, oh, trans attacks. It's like, well, hold on. What's the story? And they're like, well, they were at a club and this person was dressed as a woman and they went back home and started having sex. And then the guy figured out that the woman wasn't a woman. And then a fight broke out and violence ensued. And you're like, look, violence is never good. But oh my God, could you imagine like pretending to be something you're not and going home with, like, I could understand a situation where someone would be absolutely terrified and freaked out, and they would be abused by the liar presenting as something, pretending there's something they're not. I don't think that was the case in the Matthew Shepard. I think he was just gay in a bar. I don't know if he was hitting on somebody in a bar and he didn't like it, in which case it's just like getting hit on in a bar by somebody of the sex that you're interested in. You go, thanks, but no thanks. And if someone gets too aggressive, you have a right to, hey, I got bodily autonomy here. You're making me uncomfortable. Hashtag me too. But the story from the 90s was like, you should be allowed to be who you are and not get attacked for it. And it's like, yes, I agree 100%. Do what you do, to each their own. Do as thou wilt. Just, you know, what was the Bill Clinton policy? Ask, but don't ask, don't tell. It's just kind of like, do your thing. But don't like aggressively go after other people and being like Joe Biden, sniffing them and touching them. But it's gone so far past that point where it's like, we all agree you should not suffer violent attacks for being who you are. You know, and if you were to flirt with somebody, like a response to like, hey, what are you doing later? Can I get your number or something? However people flirt these days. The reaction shouldn't be a baseball bat and getting snuffed out. We're in agreement. We're in complete agreement. But after that point, these arguments and conversations have gone into really different directions. And I don't know how we can recalibrate this. But the train is off the tracks. The train has left the station, and it is off the tracks, people. So anyway, thank you, Blake, for sharing that one. Because, yeah, agree or disagree that kids who want to turn trans and parents who are not participating in that mental illness of the gender dysphoria going to prison, I'm gonna have to disagree with them on that one. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to check out this George Carlin. But I do like how they said, yeah. Anyway, I'm interested. I'm curious. Anyway, the commenter that was saying they clearly understand George Carlin's humor. Why not just do your own humor in that style? Like, use your own voice. Just let me get to touching on a couple of these points, and I'll wrap it up. If you have any other comments to add, please do, including which artist would you like to enter into an AI machine and hear an artist covering another artist? Yeah, I'd like to hear a lot of Chris Cornell covering stuff. I loved his acoustic stuff. Jocelyn saying in America will start panic buying when they find out our banks are in dire trouble. Globalists are making their move. Good Lord. Yeah, get ready, folks. Get prepared. Kenneth B saying, now American't instead of America. No, Kenneth, I didn't say put my ear to the oven. I said put my ear to the train tracks. Thank you very much. Jocelyn saying Trump vows to terminate every open borders policy on day one, mass deport illegals. Former President Donald Trump vowed to stop President Joe Biden's destructive border policies on day one. Well, I mean, yeah, for the love of God, please, like this is gonna, oh, this is so bad. I don't know how we recover from this. Not being melodramatic here. I don't know how we fix this. Jocelyn says, open the borders, bring in tens of millions of illegal immigrants. No, illegal aliens. Pass mass amnesty laws or do away with voter ID. The illegals now run America because they have the numbers to outvote Americans. My God. I don't like taking the black pill. I don't like to be so negative, but whew, just reading some of this stuff out loud, Jocelyn, it's terrifying. She continues, every single person who's crossed our border is a criminal and our entire government is complicit. Yep. Yeah, that'd be a good campaign slogan, Kenneth. Viv Blake Ramaswamy, 2024. Viv Blake instead of Vivek. All right, people. Special thanks to Blake Walley. Follow him on X. He's at TV's Blake Walley and The Next Level News. Our homepage is TheNewAmericanMedia.com. I'm going to be making some updates and revisions and posting some fresh content there because if the world goes sideways, that's the one place where I will continue posting these shows. Maybe they won't be live. We used to have a live streaming with Broadwave. We did our live radio there, but we've changed our format over the years, and we'll keep adapting. But if the world goes to hell, go to TheNewAmericanMedia.com. On X, we're at American_media_. On Telegram, we're at where are we? TNAM and TNAM Chat. On Spotify, The Agree to Disagree Show. Subscribe to our podcast. On Rumble, The New American Media. On Truth Social, The New American Media. On Instagram, The New American Media. On YouTube, youtube.com/The New American Media. About 1,400 videos and 12 years of content. Subscribe, leave your comments. Press play on some of these also. Like, if you're at home and you're connected with us and you see something, press it and let it go. Let it run. Let us build those numbers. Check out some older shows, some older content. All of the analytics help us. Clicking like. If you're watching on one of these other platforms right now, click the like button, click the heart button, click confetti, click thumbs up, whatever you have the option to click all the things, please. So, yeah, the New American Media, we're going to keep going because the old American media has failed you. We're seeking truth, challenging dogma, and having fun. So, signing off for now. And I'm going to try to do more shorts on the YouTube channel as well. So, maybe 60-second clips of individual content. So make sure you're linked up and click the button so your notifications, you will actually see when our content is posted, because you will not always get that unless you ask for it. So anyway, for everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I appreciate you. I love you. This weekend, go Browns in the playoffs against the Houston Texans. Hopefully we can win. 4 wins to get a Super Bowl championship. First one of my lifetime. Just one before I die. Just one. How about now, please? And I will see you later. Take care, everyone.